Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andrej,
And I'm Benoit.
and thanks so much for tuning in. This is the beginning of a new store championship.
Yeah.
This is the 6th of February.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first thing that we've done that's actually not in Montreal. So a couple friends and I, we got in a car and we drove down to Gatineau.
Yeah.
Gatineau it's across the river from Ottawa.
Yeah, it's not too far from Montreal.
No, it's like an hour and a half drive,
yeah,
2 hours.
It's not that far.
And they have a lot of strong players down in Ottawa. This is the Ottawa Gatineau kind of meta. Even Hull, I think, might be
Yeah,
part of it.
I think so.
Yeah. So this is the first time I've actually played outside of Montreal, and this is really exciting. This is the organizers in Ottawa are awesome. Haney, who was you've probably seen him on camera here before, runs all these tournaments in Ottawa, and it's just awesome. There's so much prize support. Very friendly people. Anyways, so this is about game one. I think this is the second match of game one. On the left, we have Vincent. Vincent is from Montreal. He actually drove us down. And we show up here in the morning, and first matchup is me versus Vincent. That's actually me on the right, playing Max. And Vincent is playing Sync. So what's interesting is that we both kind of know each other's decks.
Yeah.
Actually, Vincent might not know much about my deck because I was so close to bringing Geist to this tournament, and that's
Okay.
all I was practicing as.
Oh, okay.
But I'm actually playing as kind of a more aggressive Max.
Yeah.
And you see Vincent here did not make that bet. This is right after all these like wild berries decks were really really getting a lot of attention, and that's why he did not expect the count siphon.
Yeah.
Open
First turn
HQ,
siphon, that's nice.
open siphon for click one, and now we enter the weird part of the game where you decide whether or not to go tag me against Sync.
Already?
Already seems bad. So Vincent's deck is a psychographics deck. That's how it punishes tags. It's not a kill deck. It does have closed
And
accounts.
you know that information.
I know that. We played a lot.
Yeah.
We did a lot of testing, and I don't think I got to flow tags right away. 4 credits is enough to score an Astro.
Yeah, you'd have to see all the cards.
Yes.
Like all the cards he draws, you see them before he does.
Yeah.
At that point, it starts getting really good.
It gets safe at that point,
Yes.
yeah. Maybe you can land a Wanton Destruction, throw out his
or
cards.
maybe let him score once,
Yeah.
but then you access everything else.
Yeah.
But if not, it's not the time.
So Vincent's deck is a Biotic Labor. This is strictly fast advance. And so keeping money down is really important. Figuring out when to go tag me is also an interesting thing because I have no doubt I'll go tag me at some point. I
Yeah.
think my deck is designed to do that. So we're going to keep punk rocking, and HQ is still open.
Yeah.
2 siphons in deck, both in starting hand.
Oof.
Pretty rough.
Yeah, you can only afford 2 with the influence.
Yeah, two is basically what you can do. And
Because you need a Levi at least.
you need a levy,
Yeah, levy.
and then you have 1 or 2 left. With no credits, single access on R&D.
Resistor is pretty hard when you're playing Tag Me.
Yeah, resistor is one of the problems. You do have David to deal with it if things get out of hand,
Yeah.
or you can just pay the money. These sync decks do run the Quantum Kitty, Quantum Predictive Models, so accessing R&D when you're tagged is a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Unless you play Film Critic, which you don't.
Yeah, I definitely don't. But things are looking okay on money. If I can just keep Vincent down for a while I get set up, I know he can't Biotic out some sort of nuts Astro.
Yeah, and since you're Max, you're already drawing 1 card for free at the
Yeah.
beginning of each turn, so your Siphon clear tags
It's
are
not that
bad.
bad of a deal.
Yeah.
As much as spending 6 clear tags is annoying.
Uh-huh.
Eater is on the table. I'm expecting a resistor on HQ based off that's what I've seen. So that's actually really good for me. That's a really easy way to land a thing. Single access on R&D is going to have a Jackson Howard.
Wow, nice.
An Eater deck will want to get rid of Jackson and a Sweepspeak. After all this money I've denied, he's on hedge fund Sweepspeak.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
And things are going to be okay.
Uh-huh.
Liberated account is going to hit the table, get some money, and there we go. Turntable.
Turntable.
So
Is that your favorite console?
I'm convinced it's the best console.
It's also cheap. 2
It's
credit is
cheap.
not expensive.
2 from 1 MU is
Yeah.
good, but now Vincent understands that if he Biotic Labors out an Astro for 3 credits, I just have to run R&D and get a single crappy agenda and everything that he spent
Any
his
one
money
pointer.
on. It's done. So that is such a huge deal in the matchups against NEH.
By the way, I think in your graveyard you have Apocalypse there.
I do.
So your opponent knows what
My opponent
you're
knows what's
to.
up. And you know what? There's also a Levy in there, and I just found the Kronos Project.
Yep.
We know in testing that we thought there's going to be a lot of max today, and there was. And Vincent was very clever and put in one Cronus project, which I think is even worth bioticking out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
My Levy was in the trash. My Apocalypse was in the trash. 2 Siphons in the trash. If Vincent could have scored that, that was going to be huge. I was super happy to find that out there on a server.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Corroder on the table. I now think that Resistor on HQ will let me through and let me have accesses, which is kind of hard for Eater Max to get some accesses. So that's really good to see, and the money is back up. So now Vincent doesn't know. Do you fast advance an Astro? And then you have to hold off R&D.
With the turntable?
With the turntable. That is a lot of pressure. I'm not going to run. I think I chickened out on that. Let's take some money. I don't know if this deck does mid-seasons. I don't think it does. Maybe? I don't know. There's 2 Biotics in hand. And maybe a Beal. Looks like we're going to install on top of that card. I haven't run that server, and that's a big problem I have with Sync, is that I don't want to run things, like assets that have been there until I've gone tag me.
What would be the worst that you could
News
access?
team.
News team is always the worst.
Yeah, because I want to access news teams at the point where I'm already floating tags. If you access it before, it's just such a problem. With global foods and news teams and quantum kitties, if you go tag me, it is almost impossible to score 7 points of agendas.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It's really difficult. Inject is going to hit the table. We're going to see a David in the bin, which is never good to see, but you do have a retrieval run right there, so you can pull that back if you need to. This is the cool thing that I can do with Max at this point, is that you can actually afford to set up. I don't think you have to be as aggressive as you used to have to be against things like Fast Advance.
Yeah, it's you're also not playing against Near Earth.
Exactly.
Sync is a bit slower.
Yeah. That's part of my Near Earth tech right there, a hacktivist meeting hitting the table. So if that is something like a Sansan City Grid, some cards are going to have to leave hand. And that's never good.
No.
You never want to lose cards.
Everything that is rezzed is going to be bad. So.
Yeah, things will get problematic real fast. So 17 credits still is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. A Keyhole is hitting the bin. I do have an Eater out. I could retrieval run for that and then start hammering R&D. Looks like we do have a retrieval run, and you know what? I think that might just be the Keyhole, either that or the David. It looks like it'll be a Keyhole.
That might be expensive though. Like,
it might be.
Corp is on 17 credits, so whatever it is, if it's a pretty good ice, it's going to be expensive.
But I think if I just install that on the table and I'm basically saying, go ahead, spend 7 credits to score 1 agenda, and then I will Keyhole, and then I will find something and turntable it.
Yeah.
Which is a really bad spot to be in. Just the power of turntable is absolutely fantastic. Oh, finding that Cronus project was also a big deal. So
Icing Archive would not be bad.
I think you need our Ice Archives.
Yeah, just to force the break to get access.
Yeah, and you can't break an access with Eater.
No, so you need to find your shard or
you do
or a breaker.
The problem is with DDoS.
Yeah.
I do have a DDoS on the table, so you're going to need 2 ice, and I don't know if you can afford that.
I don't think so. But if you use your DDoS just to access once, maybe it's okay.
It's okay. David is going to hit the table. That was Deja Vu last turn. So now we have the full rig. I don't have to put any pressure on the table, but as I say that, we are going to attack HQ. That is an Archangel. So I can either spend about 6 on the trace or 1 David counter, and I think that's an easy enough choice.
Yes, David counter is fine.
David seems okay. Next piece of ice, that is the Resistor we predicted.
That's 1 credit.
1 credit, and you know what? I'm actually going to get a proper access.
Yeah.
I was hoping that was a Resistor into something that was Davidable, just so I can get an access.
Ooh,
that's a deal.
Nice.
There's been no Jackson for a while, a lot of card draw. You can assume that there's going to be agendas in there. A run on that server is going to be a Sansan, and you know what? I think I'm going to pay 5 for that. And a CVS. Luckily, that wasn't a news team, so that's quite okay. I don't think I have any viruses. And now we have entered a really tough spot, 12-8, and you have to be able to res all that ice on R&D and yet still score agendas.
It's rough.
Yeah, I can get free accesses just about 1 credit, accesses on HQ.
If he doesn't see any Jackson and agenda starts piling up in his HQ, he's in trouble.
Things are really bad, and also if you're going to res that Jackson, you're gonna have to lose a card from hand.
Yeah, and if it takes too long to score, then the runner is gonna be all set up and gonna like mess with everything you install.
So I do have time to install a liberated account
Yeah.
and just liberate some money from it. So this is looking okay. I don't have much of a deck left, but I think we're at the point where you can just go ahead and levy. I actually don't know whether Vincent has 1 or 2 Kronos projects.
So you're kind of scared at that
I have
point?
no doubt he has a biotic labor in hand, and if you can biotic a Kronos project, I think that might just be game.
I think he flashed a Kronos project.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I saw one. And he also has the biotic, so maybe he should have used it.
Yeah.
But maybe he only plays one. I think I saw one in his hand.
I think I'm scared right at this point.
Yeah, so you use it
Same
right
old thing
away?
into levy. In retrospect, I'm not sure whether or not I should use the liberated accounts before or after. I think before is better, just to put it back in your deck.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I don't mind drawing that card.
yeah.
So that's a bit of a bummer. But we got to shuffle what's left of my stack back into and make a new make a new stack.
And you also draw 5 new cards.
That's true. Always good. I've constantly had problems playing Max where I'll never levy soon enough and then have to levy at the point where I'm low on money.
Yeah.
And then the corp gets like
And
a
it's-
huge window.
Yeah, it's like you know exactly what the runner is gonna do.
Yeah. So I think levying before you've drained everything might be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think I need to do that. Still, we have a DDoS on the table. I can make 4 more credits, and I have 5 new cards in hand. Things are okay. I don't know what Vincent can do at this point.
Yeah, Kronos project would have been nice the
Kronos
turn
would have
before.
been huge.
Yeah.
And it looks like I'm going to just liberate that money. I think I realized that I probably messed that part up.
I mean, his game plan is still the same. You have no
There it
quad,
is.
so that's
Yeah.
not bad. Just score 1 Astro and then the other Astro and then
Yep.
the other Astro. The problem is the turntable at that point.
The turntable is a
if
problem.
you access only one agenda, you'll steal that Astro script.
So the current is done, and it looks like we're going to DDoS and start hitting some servers. Astro is on the table. Let's keyhole in. I really need to find an agenda just to stop that Astro. We hit a Data Raven. I think I'm going to take that tag straight away, and we are going to hit the traces. Trace 3. Now, this is the problem. I don't know whether or not to beat the trace.
I have no idea. Like the fact that the corp can decide when to give you the tag or
Is the
not
biggest
is a big
problem.
thing. Unless you go full tag me.
Because I think I can go full tag me,
Yeah.
but I know it's psychographics. The amount of tags does matter. Like, just having 2 tags alone is enough to fast
Yeah,
advance.
but at the same time, Keyhole lets you see 3 cards every time.
But I'll
So
never
you're gonna-
R&D lock.
You will not R&D lock, but you'll get to agenda before it's too late.
I'm hoping so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's your game plan.
Yeah, I
at
think
that point.
you have to go tag me. And at this point, it looks like I'm just going to take that tag, or more so, the power counter is going to be delivered. So with 1 tag now, the Quantum Kitties are up, and we're going to hit
This
a
doesn't
Gutenberg.
matter anymore. Like,
It doesn't, but it looks like I'm just going to go ahead and use
Yeah,
a
yeah.
David. We get 3 cards off the top. If there's an agenda there, we're in a really good spot. And you know there is.
there is.
But that's not a good agenda to turntable.
It's not that bad.
It's not the worst, but I guess that's better than having
Yeah,
Astro.
Astro is bad. But you could go again. You have-
Yeah. So we've accessed archives.
Are you going again before?
No,
Like,
I'm running archives at this point.
but
And,
why would you not Keyhole again?
I have a thing in hand, and you know what? There's 2 kitty cats in there, which is up to now. If I'm switching that, and it looks like I'm going to turntable that.
Oh.
We are now up to 5 agenda points, and Corp did very little right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Scored an Astro up to 5,
Oh.
and it looks like
You could have cleared the tag before going in
I know, I
archive.
know.
That would have been huge because you would have switched the kitty
Yeah.
with the Astro script.
Actually,
Oh.
I have something in my hand now that I'm working on. It looks like I'm going to let the Archangel fire and just
Okay.
return the keyhole to hand.
Uh-huh.
And that's because something bad is about to happen. A single access on HQ, if we can get another agenda, that is going to be huge, but just a biotic labor. And the reason why I did the order that you asked, I did the order, is because I found, Data Raven's going to be used at this point, is I found
Apocalypse.
this horrible, like it was a USB stick in the parking lot, and there's a virus on it, and oh god, everything is gone. And this is going to be really bad.
So instead of going Keyhole again or clearing the tag
Yeah,
before
I needed to
accessing,
access everything.
yeah, you needed to run all 3 servers.
Yes. And in retrospect, because of that kitty cat, I probably should have run archives first, because I knew there's going to be Quantum Kitties somewhere, and
Yeah.
that was a server I could get in without being tagged. Now, the really interesting thing is that I let the Archangel fire so I could get a card back
Yeah,
in
yeah,
hand.
of course.
And Vincent probably misplayed a bit at that point, because he gave me my keyhole back. So now, with no ice, I can start doing things like this. Deja Vu into Count Siphon. is going to take all his money. I'm already tagged me. 4 tags, sorry. I can start checking remotes, and this is the good time to hit news teams where they don't matter. It looks like I'm going to install a keyhole, but I don't think I can use it. So we're going to change our mind on that. I think you can access HQ, access R&D.
Yeah.
The really scary thing, actually, before that apocalypse, I ended my turn with 2 tags.
Yeah.
If Vincent had his psychographics
That
in
would
hand,
have been
he could have
over.
closed the game.
Yep.
And it looks like the gamble might have paid off. Another news team, so we know 1 less card in HQ. And next turn, if Vincent can't get something out, some ice out, and have money to res it,
Well,
or a
he's
Jackson.
taking only 3 credits, so it's not that
Yeah,
bad.
looks like he doesn't have ice, and this could just be a keyhole into game. I only need 1 agenda. Keyhole hitting the
Switch to-
table.
Even
and
a
it-
1 point
A
is
1 pointer
fine.
would just be fine, but I
Yep.
can't steal Quantum Kitty. And that is an Astro. Run Archives, steal the Astro, 7-5. That was
Whoa,
close.
Close game. Apocalypse is so strong.
Apocalypse is nuts.
If you can siphon right after.
Yes.
But that was a gamble. For
It definitely was a gamble.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wasn't expecting the Quantum Kitty.
Uh-huh.
Those cats did kind of mess up the game plan a lot.
Yeah.
But what a game. Playing Tag Me Against Tag Me decks is always the most fun I have as an Anarch, because you really have to be smart. You can't just spam siphons
Yeah.
the way that kind of half the time always works. So fantastic. Always a real bummer to show up and have to play the people that you drove up with.
Yeah, of course.
And then drove back
Yeah.
with.
Especially when you know what they're playing and
Yes.
they don't know what you're playing.
He knew I was playing Max, and I was kind of a bit quiet about it. I was honestly going to bring
Yeah,
Geist
yeah.
until the last minute, so sorry about that, I guess. But hey, that was a really fun game. I'm excited to continue playing Max this day. Things seem to be working out. Thanks so much for watching.
Nice.
Ciao.
Bye.
You were giving me a card back to install after Apocalypse. If you expected the Apocalypse, at least.
Yeah.